From aliens to zombies and everything in between, this is Paranormal Physique.
Going on this since we don't have a ton of time.
No, we don't have a lot of time. This is a quickie.
We're gonna do it anyway. Hello, everybody.
Hi. Remember us? I don't.
We're people. I've even forgotten about me.
I've forgotten about me.
I've remembered you, but me, I'm not that all that important.
They remember us.
Yeah. We're gonna try something a little different today. We're gonna do a little quickie kind of a thing, a little less rambly. A little more to the point. It's because time constraints. We have things to do.
That's right. And we haven't been around for a while.
No, we have not.
We've been busy. Things happen.
Still haven't made that video thing.
Hey, that's coming up.
We're working on it, though.
Yes, we're also poor.
Yeah, this just in. Two guys talking about ghosts at a warehouse may not have boatloads of money laying around, but that's okay.
Despite what you believe.
Despite the persona that we may have forced upon you.
Yes, that's correct.
That is correct. But today we're going to talk about something that's a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun spitballing this, I think. Cryptids.
Who doesn't love a cryptid?
I mean, I love them all. I used to be in a relationship with one.
Ooh.
The chupacabra.
Oh, the
Sucked
chupacabra.
all of my goats. All of them have been sucked. That's literally what chupacabra means, is goat sucker.
Yes, it is.
Which is gross.
It is gross.
I mean, like,
and the way you phrased all of that was gross.
Yes, it was, but this is a show about gross things.
It is a show about gross things.
And weird things.
Yes, but we want to talk about cryptids because everyone has a favorite cryptid.
And you...
Everyone does.
And you have a favorite cryptid?
I have a favorite cryptid.
I do, too.
Everyone should. Do
you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My favorite cryptid, Sheepsquatch.
Come again?
Sheepsquatch.
Sheepsquatch?
Sheepsquatch. Okay. So, for some reason, with cryptids, they end up everywhere. Like, everywhere has a cryptid. Everywhere has an undiscovered beast that someone sees and assumes it's a spectral animal that, has never been encountered by man before.
Right. It brings the community together.
Yes, it does. Much like a festival or a fair.
Or an ostracized person, or a jester.
Yes, any of those things. But the cryptid does the same thing.
Sure.
But Sheepsquatch is it's a take. Okay,
cannot
come on.
Take you seriously.
Yes, you can.
You said Sheepsquatch 3 times already.
Well, if you say it 3 times, he appears in a mirror.
I don't want that.
No one does.
No.
But Sheepsquatch, he's reportedly seen in the multiple counties of West Virginia.
Oh, that's where all great information comes from, and all great folklore, too.
That's right. West Virginia.
West Virginia.
I don't know, there's always something about, it... Okay, there's that really ridiculous show on TV called Mountain Monsters.
Right, which I figured that's where this stemmed from, but I was thinking mountain goats, not mountain sheep.
Mountain sheep. This one, I think they did an episode on this thing, too. It's really funny. But it's like a Bigfoot-like creature where you get the squatch from, except it's a sheep. Like its name is literal. It is a sheep Sasquatch. It has a goat's head or a sheep's head with horns, and it's just 7 foot tall, bipedal. It's
Paul White. It's the Big Show from WWE.
It is, and he grew horns, and he's just wandering the forests and hills of West Virginia,
choke slamming people. That's what Sheepsquatches do. That's what the Big Show does, and
I can't see why the Sheepsquatch wouldn't choke slam people if he could find them.
It's the most effective way to terrorize a community.
Though if he has cloven hooves, it's really hard to imagine him doing that.
But it's not outside the spectrum of reality. I mean, as far out of reality as you could take a Sheepsquatch.
I took it pretty far.
Let's keep going.
Okay. Well,
so what is it about Sheepsquatches that is so terrifying though? Because it's just a big sheep creature. I mean, sheep aren't really known to be aggressive.
Yeah, this sheep is, Zach. This sheep is aggressive like a Sasquatch.
And does it walk? It walks on its hind legs.
Yes, I guess that also. Anytime something mimics a human, I think it adds a level of kind of fear to it.
Sure. It's also taller that way. Bears do that when they're intimidating people. They get back on their hind legs and they roar.
Never encountered a bear.
I have, and it's terrifying. If bears were fake, they would be my favorite cryptid, but terrifyingly enough, they're real.
And all over the place.
I used to live in South Lake Tahoe. They used to rifle through our garbage.
And picnic baskets?
Yogi never made an appearance. No,
that's sad. You could have named one of them Yogi and threw picnic baskets at him.
That's the thing. Like if you had a picnic basket that was full of food, they would have found it and they would have taken it. And
well, good. I feel that's suitable.
That's not what's scary about them. What's scary about them is they can get into your house and they know how to open refrigerators. They're smart and they have horrible sharp claws. So imagine going downstairs for a midnight snack and there is a 500-pound American black bear rifling through your fridge. It's a very.
I couldn't encounter worse, I guess.
Yeah, you could. But that's just, it's a very real possibility, and it's just like something that like I had to live in constant fear of.
Okay, now replace bear with a 7-foot-tall sheep man who also can somehow get into your home, rifling through your refrigerator.
Imagine he wouldn't be very polite. Like he wouldn't be like in his boxer shorts like, oh, I'm sorry, did I make too much noise? I didn't mean to wake you. I was hungry.
I'll show myself out.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'll lock the door.
Politely exits, and you wonder why he's wearing boxer shorts but nothing else, as though he made himself comfortable in your home.
He's wearing your boxer shorts.
Oh,
he got into your room and took your underpants.
Or he went down to get like where my clean laundry is, or maybe soiled laundry. That's even creepier.
Ooh, he put on your soiled laundry.
He's a sheepsquatch. I don't expect him to be smart.
Creepy guy. Paul is weird. My God. That's what retired wrestlers do. You know, they have head trauma. You know, you make yourself a cryptid. And you just put on underpants.
Put on underpants. All right, Zach, your favorite cryptid.
I mean, I had to think about this for maybe 5 seconds.
So long.
I know, but that's the thing is that there's so many of them, and they're usually really great. My favorite one has to be the Mothman.
Oh, Mothman! Mothman's awesome.
Mothman is awesome.
Mothman's awesome.
Not mistaken, also a Virginia dweller.
Yes, Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cryptids in West Virginia apparently, or just a lot of people that think that they see cryptids. Now, Mothman has been mostly debunked. So they say. They pretty sure they think it's...
Who's they?
They is not important. Scientists. Conscientious observers. They think he's a...
yeah. You know what?
Owl. Yeah, no, I got to explain the Mothman first.
Explain Mothman. Mm-hmm. Tell some people... Hit them with some truth.
Some truth. The truth about Mothman.
Well, I always like when I listen to conspiracy theory things, and they're like, we're going to tell you the truth. As though... anyone is a credible source of what the truth is. So,
or I think it's more like a feeling of everyone else has been lying to you. They don't want you to know the truth, but we're here. Us, people.
That's right.
Guys with microphones are here.
That's right. And we're in a warehouse.
We're still in this warehouse.
We're still in a warehouse, making us extra credible because we have full-time jobs.
That's correct. We're gainfully employed people, which means we need to be taken seriously.
Very seriously. And now, Zach, hit us with some truth.
Mothman.
Preach.
6 foot tall man moth. A man who is also a moth. It's kind of like the Tick, except a moth.
It seems really complicated.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
Poor guy.
Apparently he doesn't really terrorize people. He's just sort of hanging out and observing people like some kind of creepy animal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just a big, red-eyed, terrifying-looking white moth.
Yes.
And they take this very seriously. They even constructed a full-scale statue of what people claim that the Mothman looks like.
I've seen it.
You've seen it in person or on the internet?
In person.
You've gone.
I've been to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, home of the Mothman.
So you love the Mothman just as much as I do.
I took a 4-hour trip down there to see the Mothman.
Did you find the Mothman?
No. I found a statue and the terrible museum.
There's a museum.
Oh, there is a Mothman museum.
Okay, see, now we have to go.
There's also a Mothman festival.
See, you know just as much, if not more, about the Mothman and me, and he's my favorite. Just because it's so ridiculous. They even made a horrible Richard Gere movie about this guy. Chapstick.
Oh, God. Turn up the reverb, and let's just keep saying chapstick over and over and over again.
That's how you gain fans.
Chapstick.
For those of you who don't know, in the Mothman...
And if you don't know...
You should watch the Mothman Chronicles, because it's awful. God, is it bad. I mean, I don't like Richard Gere in anything. He's not a good actor. If any of you are yelling, you didn't like Pretty Woman, you can go ahead and just leave. That's all I have to say.
Please don't go.
No, stay. But
We need you.
Pretty Woman's awful. It's another awful. Julia Roberts' mouth bothers me.
Okay,
Does it not bother you?
Okay, I don't really have an opinion on Julia Roberts. She exists.
You know what? You need to get more rage in your life.
I need
Not getting angry nearly enough about Richard Gere movies.
Julia Roberts'
Okay.
weird formed mouth.
Right, it's huge.
All right.
So the Mothman apparently spends his days calling people on the telephone. That's what I gained from this movie. And Richard Gere picks up the phone and is quizzing the Mothman. So he says to the Mothman, "What am I holding in my hand?" And he's holding chapstick, and the Mothman grumbles back at him over the telephone, "Chapstick."
Mm-hmm.
And that's supposed to be terrifying, and it's fucking
It's
hilarious.
a revelation.
It's a revelation.
It's a revelation.
That he's transient? Like
no,
what
that chapstick's around in West Virginia.
Chapped lips may or may not exist in West Virginia.
But Point Pleasant's a really creepy town.
I'm sure it is.
It's great.
They have more to offer than just the Mothman, do they not?
There was a Bennigans.
Which is like an Irish-themed TGI Fridays, pretty much?
Yes, there's a lot of Irish folk in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. My favorite thing is it's across the river from Gallipolis, Ohio. And Gallipolis, Ohio is known as the City of the Gauls. Gauls.
Like seagulls?
No, like Gauls from like France. Like the Gallic people.
Oh. Those Gauls.
Yes.
I was thinking like seagulls for some reason, which makes no sense since it's
City of the Gauls.
Over a river in the Midwest. I'm now realizing how stupid that is.
Well, hey, there's a lot of gulls over there. But no, it's just that's a weird city, and Point Pleasant's just creepy. I remember the Bennigans.
Apparently.
And
very impactful.
There was one restaurant in town. It was Bennigan's, for what I remember.
Is that like just the local watering hole for everybody
I
there?
think there were other ones when I was walking around, but I just remember strictly there was a Bennigan's. I'm like, why is there a Bennigan's here? There's nothing else here.
They have one in Athens, Ohio, too, which has a lot more to offer than just Bennigan's. But there's one there.
They also have a TGI Fridays.
I'm just saying, it doesn't really matter. If there are hungry people, they'll put a Bennigan's there.
Damn right. So there are hungry people in Point Pleasant. There's this weird stone obelisk, which marks an Indian massacre.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That's good feeling right there.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
That there's a monument to it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to point that out. That's awful.
Yes, it is awful. But there's an obelisk there in this park. And part of the Mothman stuff stems into, is it a Native American curse that was put on the people of Point Pleasant?
Like a poltergeist-style Indian burial ground curse?
Except the curse isn't the dead rising, it is a Mothman.
That's the curse?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as curses go, I mean, that's pretty great. Having a 6-foot moth yelling about lip balm.
It just has really chapped lips.
Chapped lips.
He can't manipulate chapstick on his own. He's just really upset.
That's a funny scene. Just the Mothman just in a cave trying to manipulate various creams and ointments to keep himself hydrated.
I can't do it.
The winter's hell on me. I'm a moth, damn it.
He's just not having a good time.
It's like him and Cthulhu are hanging out, just trying to apply creams and shave and other things.
It just doesn't work for him.
Trying to cook on a hot plate.
Cryptids have it tough. It's so tough. But the other creepy area, aside from the Mothman Museum and the giant metallic statue and the obelisk and the Bennigans, is the
most terrifying being the Bennigans.
Bennigans. I'll always refer back to Bennigans with how creepy it was. Their main the old main street of the town is all kind of abandoned. It's all the old buildings, but no real actual storefronts anymore.
That's creepy.
That's kind of creepy. And when you drive down the actual new main highway that's through there, if you look, it butts up against the back of the old main street. So when you look at the back of the old houses, whenever you read it an H.P. Lovecraft novel, it makes you think of these are the back alleys of Innsmouth or something.
Oh, with the frog people?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminded me of that. But where the Mothman was seen was the old TNT plant.
A dynamite factory?
Mm-hmm. They made munitions.
Dynamite musicians.
They did. But then they made munitions during the war, and what they would do is all the reserve stuff. They had concrete bunkers out in this area, and they would store all the munitions in there. And pretty much it's all been reclaimed by nature.
Oh, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah,
it's
so
all overgrown and stuff.
Yeah, so if you drive down these, like, there's these dirt roads into this nature preserve, and as you're driving through there, if you look down some of these, like, paths that just kind of cut through the forest, you'll see these concrete bunkers off in the distance, and they're just overgrown with vines and vegetation, and, like, it's not like when you drive through the metro parks here, and it's like, here's a nice paved road, and there's this abutment before you get into the woods, and there's paths and, like, exercise trails. It's like, no, it is dirt road, and then there's the woods.
It wasn't made to be accessible by people.
No.
And it hasn't been upkept at all. No one's maintained it.
It doesn't, like, it feels like they do a little bit, but it's just a lot, kind of like, just like, let nature do what it wants. We have a road. Let's just keep this road and these paths, and we're good. That, and I think a lot of the areas, it used to be like an actual, like, munitions factory. A lot of the areas, like, the ground's poisoned.
Well, you know what? That's the thing. They said let nature do its thing, and you have to fight back. To say, no, nature, stop that.
Stop that.
You made things like killer bees and jellyfish and Bryan Adams, and you need to be stopped. And that's all I have to say about it. Nature needs to be stopped. It is a menace.
So
disagree with me.
I'm
Go
not
right
going
ahead.
to disagree with you. It did make bees, and I hate them. But I like the fact that our way of fighting back starts on the battleground of Point Pleasant's forest.
Sure. I mean,
all great battles have to start somewhere. I guess no.
And have to end somewhere else too. We can start Point Pleasant, and we can end Shanghai.
I guess.
I mean, they're waging their own battle against nature over there with the amount of pollution they have.
That's true.
Do we have any listeners in Shanghai, China area? Did we get one of those?
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
we had some listeners from Turkey.
Hello, Turkish people.
Hello.
Not nearly as polluted as Shanghai, so you got that going for you. I like Turkish coffee. That's delicious. Turkish desserts are pretty good too. Turkish Delight's a weird flavor. I like Turkish Star Wars. Have you ever heard of Turkish Star Wars?
I haven't heard of Turkish Star Wars.
We're gonna have to watch Turkish Star Wars.
Sweet. I'm excited for that.
Oh, it's terrible. It's really awful. I had a question for you. Do you think
Answer.
Cthulhu counts as a cryptid?
No.
Because he's fictional?
No, I can't argue that he's fictional because
I was really trying on that one.
I'm not going to argue. I can't argue that he is not a cryptid because he's fictional because all cryptids are kind of fictional.
Pretty fictional.
But I don't think there's actually been like an actual like eyewitness report that someone's like, I have seen Cthulhu like rise up out of the ocean.
You mean one that has been taken seriously? You never know what the government could be hiding from us.
Oh, stop it.
No.
Stop it.
He would be my favorite cryptid if the criteria was met, I think, is what I'm trying to get at here.
Well, capture a blurry image of something, call it Cthulhu, and you got gold.
It could be you.
It could be me.
It could be you wandering out of the warehouse.
Cthulhu! I do kind of look like a monster.
I mean, I've read the description of Cthulhu inside the H.P. Lovecraft story, which I'm
and
very
he is
fond
a
of.
6'3"
warehouse worker,
chunky warehouse worker who wears thermals. That's the spot on image of what Cthulhu is.
I mean, if that isn't pure terror, I don't know what is.
Children go running.
Adults go running.
Well, them too. It's really hard to make friends.
Come back.
Come back.
Be my friend.
Please.
But, I think that like stories like this, like Cthulhu, like it have some grounding in these cryptid sort of, I guess we can call them myths, urban legends, things like that.
A lot of them are those things.
Yeah, and it all just, I think it all stems from like innate fears that people have of nature, of the unknown.
Oh yeah.
Of the creepy things in the woods.
Oh yeah. Any fears get magnified and, blown out of proportion. Think of like this. So you got Loch Ness Monster.
Nessie.
Nessie.
Love Nessie.
You also have Bessie in Lake Erie.
Oh, yeah, of course. Or some people call Lemmy.
Lemmy.
He or she. Lemmy, the Lake Erie Monster.
Yes.
Very, very, very
whichever name you like to go by.
Sure.
There's Champ in Lake Champlain.
Champ?
Champ.
Tell me about Champ, please.
He's like the Loch Ness Monster in Lake Champlain.
It's just a big leviathan in a body of water.
Big, what I forget the actual prehistoric dinosaur. Not a leviathan, but I always forget the actual dinosaur name.
Oh, so it's supposed to be like a living fossil, like some like supposedly extinct thing has somehow been able to live this long.
Yes, and that's
Got it.
there was that not long or like a few years ago there was once like a fish scientist had thought it had gone extinct that surfaced again.
That frill shark, that thing that they call a living fossil, essentially. Yeah, that weird shark. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That thing was creepy looking, but I wouldn't make up folklore about it.
Well, I mean, it could help, like things like that can inspire folklore, but also this notion that things will reappear once you thought they're gone. I think it gives people hope that maybe this thing is actually out there.
Yeah,
I think like the fact that something can kind of just go unnoticed for so long gives people the idea that these ideas could actually be real.
The thing about anything oceanic is that we have such a small portion of the ocean discovered. They're finding new species of things in the ocean constantly. It's the primordial soup in which all life stemmed from. So if there is going to be something that we can't explain living on our planet, it's going to be in the water.
More than likely.
We found a good chunk of the land stuff. We've got most of that covered.
Yeah,
Not all of it, but most of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's still those remote corners of the world where you can't easily access. There's not a whole lot of reason for people to go there, and
aren't there still like really indigenous tribes? Like, isn't there that one island where like there is no real civilization? It's just like really angry people, and anytime anyone from the outside gets close, they just chuck spears at them. I
don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's still.
I know. There's indigenous tribes in the Amazon and places like that are just like it's very difficult to get to.
And they've managed to survive out there.
It's their home. It's where they survive, and and that kind of applies to what cryptids are. People believe these things have found a niche in which they can survive. They are living, breathing creatures, and like they just kind of go unnoticed by man.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of cryptids they believe in. Like, being that remote and, like, seeing the diversity of life that they have, like, that would be incredible to just, like, pick someone who has such a different outlook on life than you's brain and what they're afraid of and what they think the reason for everything is.
That'd be really fun.
Well, you studied anthropology. That's right up your alley.
Yeah. It's some of the stuff I wanted to do, but I haven't.
Well, it's not too late. You have to stop wasting time with me in this warehouse.
No, this
about
podcast is fun, and I love this. I will not stop this.
I was just teasing.
This is my life's work. This is my life's work.
This is what I strive to show this to my children. I'm so happy my dad was a podcast guy.
They're going to hate me.
No, they won't. Little baby Ryan will love you.
He better. Or else he'll have to listen to this podcast when he's older.
Hang your head in shame, future child.
Look at me. Look at me. I got 50 views on this one. Look at me.
God damn it, that sounds nice.
It does.
Oh, Christ. Is there anything else he wants to cover?
No, we discussed two of our favorite cryptids. I think it was a good short session to get us back into the swing of this, and just to give people something to listen to.
Yeah, I think we should do this more often. Just like little things like this, like one-off sort of things where we just shoot it around a little bit, fun stuff like this.
Oh yes,
we need to pick some more obscure cryptids. Come back.
There's thousands of them.
There's got to be like a few that are ridiculous, though.
Oh, there's absolutely ones. Let's see, in Ohio alone, you got a whole bunch of different, like, supposed spectral cats, multiple different, like, Bigfoot monsters. Yeah,
there's the Grassman.
The Grassman. There's the Minerva monster, which is it's somewhere towards Dayton, I believe. Another Bigfoot in a swamp.
Bigfoot. How many Bigfoots can there possibly be? How many?
There's one for each state.
At least. There's got to be a few for each state.
Pretty much. And then they got the Loveland Frogman, again, more Ohio stuff.
Loveland, like near Cincinnati?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Frogman sighting.
Frogman.
Mothman, which we talked about. I mean, a whole bunch, and that's Ohio.
That's just Ohio.
It's just Ohio, and I'm probably missing some.
All right, well, we'll definitely revisit this. And
there's always more cryptids. Go on.
There's always more weird stuff for us to cover. Do you want to sign off?
I'll sign off. Everyone, thank you for listening, and stay weird.
Please do.